They told you life was random. They told you the stars don't care. They told you you're just one more name in a sea of billions. But deep inside, there's a voice that never believed them, because that voice knows something they don't. You were not an accident. You were not thrown here to merely survive. You were called with purpose branded into your bones, and you know it. That's why mediocrity eats away at you. You were born for a reason. Now act like it. The man who wins in this life is not the man who was handed everything. It is the man who decides once and for all that he will no longer betray his own potential. Your life is not shaped by the hand you were dealt, but by the mind that holds the cards. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve, and not might achieve, not should achieve, can. Certainty is the soil where destiny grows, and belief is not some abstract philosophy, it's a weapon." Used by the greats, brandished by Lincoln through failure after failure until the world finally listened, wielded by Edison, who lit up a planet after 10,000 failures he refused to call defeat. These men didn't wait for proof. They became the proof. You want to know why most people never rise? Because they wait for the world to believe in them first. But the greats, the chosen, they believe in themselves before the world dares to. You were born for a reason, not to wonder if you matter, but to prove it daily by how you show up. Without a vision, you perish. This is not poetic. It's practical. The man without a vision is a ship at sea with no compass, moved only by wind and wave. But the man with vision, he commands the storm. Andrew Carnegie didn't stumble into empire. He saw it first in his mind, a vision so real he could feel the steel mills before they were built, hear the hammers before they struck. And then he acted like a man already living inside that vision. Don't tell me what you want. Show me what you see when your eyes are closed and your soul is honest. Because that picture, that burning image, is the map your life was meant to follow. You were given a dream not as decoration but as direction. Follow it, build it, breathe it into existence. And when the world laughs, when they mock you for dreaming too loud, remember this. The greatest men in history were all ridiculed before they were remembered. So don't shrink your dream to fit their comfort. Make them uncomfortable with your clarity. Purpose is not found, it is forged, hammered out on the anvil of effort. Too many wait for passion to strike them like lightning. But the masters know passion follows commitment, not the other way around. Walt Disney didn't have purpose handed to him. He lost everything, had his ideas stolen, slept in office spaces, and ate out of trash bins. But the vision never left him. He kept showing up, and in the face of failure he acted like a man sent by destiny. Discipline is devotion to the dream when motivation runs dry. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is eternal. The man who masters his days masters his life, because every day, every hour is a brick, and you are building a monument to either your excuses or your excellence. Don't wait to feel ready. Feelings don't build empires. Decisions do. So decide right now that you will not let comfort rob you of your calling. Your reason for being wasn't given to you to die inside a routine. It was given to you to challenge the very limits of what's possible for one life. Greatness is never owned. It is rented, and the rent is due every damn day. The world doesn't pay men for potential. It pays them for proof. So show them. Show them who you are not with your mouth, but with your movement. You don't need permission to act. You need courage to start. Stop waiting. Stop hesitating. The road does not rise to meet the man who doubts. It opens only for the man who walks like he was born to lead. Ford didn't invent the car. He invented a way of thinking, a way of acting that turned impossible into blueprint. He looked at problems and saw systems. He looked at limitations and built past them. That's what action does. It transforms ideas into income, dreams into dominion, purpose into power. And you were not given that fire in your gut just to warm your hands by it. You were given it to burn through every excuse, every delay, every lie that told you not yet. Because now is the only time you'll ever own. Use it. Act like it matters, because it does. You may not have everything you want, not yet, but look again. You're still here, still breathing, still capable of choosing. And that right there is the seed of every miracle that has ever happened. Gratitude isn't weakness. It's the most dangerous weapon in the hands of a warrior, because when you learn to be grateful for the little, you unlock the ability to receive the great. Most men walk past their blessings because they've trained their eyes only for lack. But you were born to see differently. You were born to spot opportunity where others see nothing, to find lessons in failure, fuel in rejection, strength in solitude. Gratitude flips the script. It turns the struggle into story, the pain into purpose, and when you realize life has always been happening for you, not to you, something shifts. You stop asking, why me, and start asking, what now? That's how champions think. Not in terms of losses, but in terms of leverage. Every hardship becomes an arrow pulled back before launch. Every disappointment, a training ground for dominion. You were born for a reason, and that reason includes everything you've been through. It will not be easy. Let's kill that illusion right now. Success is not a staircase, it's a battlefield, and the moment you rise above average, the world will test you, the winds of doubt will blow, the storms of rejection will hit hard. And life will look you in the eye and ask, do you still want it now? This is where the weak fold but the chosen adapt, because resilience isn't a trait, it's a choice made daily, the choice to keep standing after life knocks you flat. The decision to bend but never break. Remember Thomas Edison, 10,000 failures, 10,000, and when asked why he kept going, he said, I have not failed. I've just found 10 zeros, zero ways that won't work. That's not just optimism. That's mental steel. That's what you build when you stop fearing failure and start expecting it as part of the path. Pain doesn't disqualify you, it qualifies you. Every scar you carry is proof that you refuse to quit. So let the winds blow, let the pressure rise. You were forged for this. Growth is the only evidence that you're alive. If you're not learning, you're dying. Because in a world moving at the speed of thought, ignorance is a death sentence not of the body, but of the dream. The top 1%, they don't worship comfort. They study relentlessly. Books, mentors, failure, all part of their arsenal. Abraham Lincoln educated himself by candlelight. Every book, every borrowed moment, a step toward the man he chose to become. He didn't wait for permission. He pursued progress like his life depended on it, because it did, and so does yours. Growth is not about perfection. It's about refinement. A man who learns is a man who earns. Not just money, but mastery. And in a world drowning in distraction, mastery is a superpower. You don't need to be perfect to rise. You need to be committed to learning day after day, failure after failure. Ask yourself this. Are you willing to sacrifice ego for elevation? Are you willing to look like a fool for a season so you can walk like a king for a lifetime? Because the man who is always learning is always rising. And you were not born to be static. You were born to soar. The hardest war you will ever fight is the one inside your own head. Conquer that, and nothing outside you can stop you. Self-mastery is not optional. It is the foundation of everything you want to build. Control your mind, or it will enslave you. Master your habits, or they will own your future. You think Carnegie built an empire without self-command. You think Disney held his vision through betrayal and bankruptcy without mental clarity. You think Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich without first going through hell. No. They became masters not of others, but of themselves. Their emotions, their doubts, their impulses. Success is not handed to the man who wants it. It is revealed to the man who earns control over himself. The legacy you leave will not be built in public. It will be built in silence, in the hours no one sees, in the choices you make when no one is watching. So ask yourself, will you be remembered as the man who wasted his gift, or the man who answered the call and walked like he was meant to be great? You were born for a reason, now act like it.